Know the out. These songs are live. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Songs of Our Lives. I'm Brad Rose. I'm an artist, a composer, a writer, the founder of Foxy, Digitalis, and somebody who thinks about music and sound far more than is healthy. Each week, I invite on a guest to talk about the songs and the music that has meant a lot to them and left its mark. Previous guests include Leia, Alan Licht, Whitney Johnson, Jason Woodbury, Tomine, Chuck Johnson, Sarah Davachi, Darius Jones, and a whole bunch more. This week, pretty easy to say this one I was really excited about this. My guest is the one and the only Jeff Parker. If we're talking like, for me, Mount Rushmore of guitar players, Jeff Parker is there. I love the way Jeff plays. I love his music, his solo music, his playing in Tortoise. I was really excited to get the chance to tell him how Tortoise is obviously very formative to me, especially starting with TNT, first record that he's on, and seeing him live back in 2003, all this stuff. Anyway, Jeff's amazing. One of the most amazing things that he's done in recent years is this, the best quartet band on the planet. They're the ETA, the Enfield Tennis Academy Quartet. So a couple years ago, Mondays at the Enfield Tennis Academy record came out. So it is him, Anna Butterss, Josh Johnson, and Jay Bellerose. And this band is so good. So freaking good. And they've got a new one out called The Way Out of Easy, which is out now on International Anthem. It is incredible as well. One of my favorite albums of the year. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about it, and I gotta imagine that there is just kind of a mountain of recordings because they were playing every night for a long time over there, like every Monday night, and I get the impression all of it was pretty much recorded. So I just hope this music keeps coming out for the rest of my life. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, this was a thrill. Jeff's awesome. If you haven't heard this record yet, you get on that. Pause this, go buy a copy, order the record or buy the digital, whatever, and then come back. Because it's that good. But anyway, this was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoy it. My guest today is a guitarist and composer and has put together one of the best bands in recent years. It's Jeff Parker. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Happy to be here.
Going pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
So The Way Out of Easy is out now, and I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about how this band kind of came together, because I love this band. I had Anna on the show too a couple months ago, and they've become, I don't know, one of my favorite musicians in the world the last few years. And just how'd you get together?
Well, I mean, I met I played a gig when I first started playing around LA. I maybe lived here a couple years. I had kept a pretty low profile. And I played a gig at the Soho House in West Hollywood. And a guy came up to me during the break. He knew some of my music and liked Tortoise and stuff. And it was Ryan Julio who told me that he had opened a organic wine and oyster place in Highland Park, and invited me to come and hang out. And I ended up playing. He started to have music there, and I played a gig there with another group. And I was pretty kind of not doing so much around town. I mean, LA is not like a working musician's town, like in the same way as Chicago or New York.
Right.
Um, but just I asked him if I could play there on Monday nights, just kind of as a way to keep myself busy and uh, my brain working and stuff. And I asked Jay Bellerose to play, who is an old friend from college. And I asked Anna to play. And I was just going to do a trio, but Josh Johnson came to listen. And I started asking him to play with us every week. And then, yeah, I mean, it was a lot of very serendipitous. Just at the time, Jay was kind of, he was around town because he was kind of T-Bone Burnett's guy.
Oh,
And
okay.
T-Bone Burnett's kind of I think he's kind of retired now. But at the time, Jay was in the studio with him all day doing his projects. And so he had the nights free. So, he was in town. So we just played every Monday for kind of the better part of 5 years.
Wow.
At first just playing standards, and then the music started to open up. Until eventually I don't know, I started to bring some synthesizer with me and my kind of looping pedals and sampling stuff. And Josh was incorporating more electronics into his sound. And I don't know, eventually we just kind of committed to the idea that we would just improvise, rather than playing tunes. I mean, uh, we play some standards and stuff maybe after we had kind of exhausted the improvising. But yeah, I mean, it was all really, really natural. I mean, nobody had any ambition beyond us playing on Monday nights, that's for sure. Not even to make any records, really. Michael Ehlers came, who has the label Aramite Records.
Mm-hmm.
And he came and heard us, and he was like, "Man, you guys got like a thing happening here, And Bryce Gonzalez, he was recording it every week.
Oh, wow.
And Michael said, "You guys, I want to put out a record with you guys,
Mm-hmm.
So he did, and we made Mondays at the Enfield Tennis Academy. And yeah, it's really well received. I mean, that's kind of what where I kind of officially became a band, I would say, is when that record came out and it was so well received.
Yeah. What was the atmosphere like during those final performances last year at ETA?
You mean Ryan kind of told us about 2 weeks before that the place was closing.
Yeah.
But before that, man, we had, especially after Mondays came out, our performances started. I mean, they were like an event. If we played on Mondays, there was a line down the block.
Dang.
And and the audience was really like respectful, man. I mean, even on the way out of Easy,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that place is packed, man. I mean, there's the venue is totally packed, and you
Wow.
can't. I mean, part of it is that Bryce has the microphone so close to all of us, But it's also, man, I mean, the place was kind of pin drop quiet other
Yeah.
than occasional, like, um, talk or exclamation. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. I think we kind of helped to fill kind of a void in the LA creative music community. Um, obviously we were playing some stuff that people wanted to hear.
Yeah. Did and I think, and I read that, so you guys, after it closed down in December, then you played at Zebulon in July. Was that like your first? I think it said it was like your kind of first gig since it closed down.
Yeah, yep.
What was that like?
Well, we had played. No, we played a gig in at the Hopscotch Festival in
all right,
in North Carolina.
Okay.
But besides in LA, that was our only show. And that was great, man. That was amazing. We played in the rounds on the floor with everybody in the audience surrounding us on all sides.
Oh, that's awesome. What's the future of the band? It seems like everybody's super busy. So
yeah. I mean, that's kind of that's a conundrum there.
Yeah.
Is I don't know. I mean, we're playing in New York in about a week. We're doing yeah, we have 3 things on the books, or 4. We're playing at Big Ears Festival in Knoxville in March. I think we're doing a Tiny Desk concert.
Oh wow!
Right before Big Ears, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but and then we're doing a show in Baltimore. But those are the only 3 things, I mean, I'll try and see who's available beyond that.
Right. What else are you working on these days? If you can talk about it.
Man, really not a whole lot. I've been trying to trying to maybe work on some of my own music, some more kind of like new breed kind of stuff. Maybe some more solo guitar things, and Tortoise. Yeah, Tortoise is almost done with a new album.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so that should be out next year sometime.
Oh, that's very exciting news.
Yeah, that's it really. Like some I mean, some few sessions here and there.
Sure.
But as far as my own the music that I'm mostly invested in,
right,
that's like Tortoise, the new breed, and some solo guitar things.
Well, that's exciting. I don't expect you to remember this, but when Foxy Digitalis, my website first started, it's like 2004, I guess. It's right when It's All Around You came out. I did an interview with you over the phone. It was like the first phone interview I'd ever done for the site. And yeah, it was, 20 years. Jesus.
Wow, that's crazy. It was with me?
Yeah, it was just you. It was,
great.
Whoever the publicist was, they were like, well, let me see who's available. And they're like, do you want to talk to Jeff? And then, yeah. So,
yeah.
Tortoise was a very formative band for me back so I've been it's been really just following your career has been amazing, and I'm excited here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm still one of the highlights. I lived in Seattle for a little while and saw it was been 2003. Saw you guys I think it was at the Showbox.
Oh yeah,
man, and my now wife. We were just dating at the time, and she wanted to know what kind of music I was into. I was like, I'm gonna take you to this show. So now here I am 20 years later, and she loved it. And so I always think of it as this like very formative moment of my life. So
Oh man, that's amazing. Thanks. I'm glad we could contribute to that.
Yeah, so I'm excited there's a new record coming out. That's cool. But well, speaking of formative things, I'll use this as a segue to get into the whole thing here. And as ever with the questionnaire, the first thing I'm going to ask is, what is the first song that you remember?
The first song I remember is "You Never Get to Heaven."
Oh,
You'll never get to heaven if you break my heart by Dionne Warwick.
Dang.
I'm not sure. It's not exactly sure why. Is maybe. I mean, if you. I think because that's kind of scary, man. to threaten somebody with that. And I think when I was a kid, I heard it, and I was just like, "What the? Wow! Why would they say that? Something like that?"
Yeah, right. It's like, okay, God, I won't do that.
Yeah, okay,
man.
But I remember other like kind of scary songs like that when I was a kid. Another one was it was this tune by this group called Paper Lace called "The Night Chicago Died." I don't know if you know
I
that
don't know
song.
that. The title alone sounds pretty heavy.
Yeah, and it's about the Valentine's Day massacre, like Al Capone
right
thing. And I was just like, wow, this song is like violent and weird. Yeah, just violent, like scary.
Yeah.
Like those are things I remember like when I was a kid.
Songs with threatening auras.
Yeah.
Was there like growing up, was there like a lot of music around? Like were your parents playing a lot of music in the house and stuff?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. My father was a big music fan. He was taking us to see shows. I mean, I saw Duke Ellington was probably I think that's the first concert I ever saw.
Man. Dang.
Took me to see Gil Scott-Heron when I was probably I don't know, 9. Yeah, who else?
That's pretty incredible. 9, man, that's got to be like, pretty formative experiences.
Yeah, and he didn't collect records, but he had a library of recordings, and I used to listen to his records. That's what kind of got me into music, like wanting to play music, just from exploring his record collection. Was always very eclectic, from kind of clubby disco kind of stuff to like Jimmy Smith and Art Blakey and
wow,
that's
awesome.
Like rock, Santana and Hendrix and Chico Hamilton records.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Cover all your bases there.
Yeah.
How old were you started playing guitar? Was guitar your first instrument?
No, it was piano. I started playing piano when I was probably about 7 or 8, and then I just didn't resonate with me. I picked up guitar when I was about 9.
Okay, man. Well, what is a song that either makes you cry or kind of like feel that emotion that can, kind of get you going?
Wichita Lineman.
Yeah.
I picked. Yeah, that's a song that I really kind of got obsessed with pretty recently. I did this gig at the Chicago Humanities Festival where they asked me to I guess their theme was they wanted me to play stuff from the Great American Songbook.
Mm.
So I picked, I picked some kind of standard stuff, but then I did it with my daughter Ruby, sang a few songs with us, and one of them we did was Wichita Lineman.
Oh wow, that's really cool. What's it like performing with your daughter?
Oh man, it's great. Yeah.
That's awesome. My
It's yeah, yeah, it's great. I mean, she and I always connected through music.
yeah. Yeah, my daughter is 11 and just started learning the cello this year. And
Oh
so
man.
it's I try to be very like hands off. I don't want to be the like music obsessed dad who's like,
Right.
oh, it's want her to find her own thing. But man, it's just getting to sit like here in a room practicing is the best.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So I always think it's really cool, like when like parents and their kids hearing like stories about them performing together and stuff. Um, well, I'm gonna jump ahead just because of the song pick. So one of the questions later on is what's a cover that's better than the original, and so you picked this song too, right? Which the meters
Yeah.
version, which is I think I can't remember. I only heard this version very recently,
Which
and
one?
the meters version,
Oh yeah.
man,
Yeah.
it's so good.
It is, yeah. I mean, I love the original one too. I like the Glenn Campbell. I mean,
Yeah.
just the whole story, like behind that song. Like he didn't even think it was done. And Jimmy Webb, the composer, uh, and I mean, he talked about how he wrote it, and it's kind of like I don't know, he was driving and saw like a telephone lineman,
Right.
like with back when I mean, I guess they probably still have to, and people do still have landlines, but the guy was up on the telephone pole, and he just kind of had this idea, that the guy's up there, like maybe he's talking to somebody that he loves, and he's at work, and he misses them,
Yeah.
and like it's just really, really beautiful, and just that one line. I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. I mean,
Yeah.
that's that's a beautiful, that's a great, very poetic.
Yeah. That's like one of my favorite lyrics I think
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
um,
same. Yeah,
it's such a I don't even like thinking about not even thinking it's to write something that a lot of people consider one of the best songs ever written. It's like I don't even know if it's done.
yeah,
It's like wow, okay, that's a high standards.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, and I love the meters, but I just love I don't know because I like the Glenn Campbell version is wonderful too. Just I really love the like the vocal performance from
Oh man, yeah, that's
on
my
there.
favorite.
Man, love those Neville
Very,
brothers.
yeah, he's very soulful. Just his
Yeah,
way he phrases it.
yeah. There's something. Yeah, and the guitar. I was thinking about this too. Just obviously the thing about the guitar lead on that meters version is so. There's something like the way it sounds to me. It feels like sort of extra haunting or something, and it's
Hmm.
just yeah, great song. Two great versions.
Yep.
Love it. Okay, well, what's a song that'll put you in a better mood?
What did I put? Thinking About You by Frank Ocean, was it?
Oh man, I love
Was that
Frank.
it?
I don't
Was
know.
it?
I don't know if I have the right order of the order of them.
Oh yeah, Thinking About You by Frank Ocean. Yeah, that's a song. I mean, I went through a obsessive phase with Channel Orange. I think it's a great album, man. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, I like it better than Blonde. I like Blonde a lot too, but just the songs were so great. And he Yeah, I think that song is great, man.
Yeah, that one it's one of those. It just feels good. I don't know,
Yeah.
like the production of it, and I mean his voice. He's got like one of those voices that feels so effortless. And I know it's like not. It's like there's a lot of work that goes into that, but man, it just flows. It's like so smooth.
Yeah. Wish he'd put. I mean, everybody wants him to put something out.
I know.
I was hanging with a friend earlier this week who's friends with Malay, who produced Blonde and Channel Orange. And he said, man, like Frank, like he said, yeah, man, he like lived on my couch for like 10 months while we made Blonde. And I haven't seen him or talked to him ever since, And he said he just kind of got burnt out. And that's kind of pretty much I mean that's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a familiar story of music business circa 2020.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Well, I hope that's a bummer to hear. I get it, but God, hopefully he'll just show up and hang out on his couch for another few months and bust out another record. I always hope that, or I always imagine like, an artist like, it's like, I wonder if he has this just like vault full of songs he's just not put, but maybe not.
Yeah. One would hope.
All right. Well, everybody's favorite question: what is objectively the best song of all time?
Oh man, what did I put? Oh, I don't know if I maybe 2 days ago this is what I thought, but I do really like this song. It's Kill Bill. I like that song.
I do love that song. I love how like dreamy, like sonically it is, and then like the juxtaposition with the lyrics, which are just speaking like gnarly and violent, and I love that.
If I was a kid, if I was a child, that would definitely that would keep me up at night for sure.
It would, yeah. And I don't even think that I had seen the video for it until I was prepping for this. The video is pretty wild too.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's I mean, considering the song, it's probably not surprising, but I kind of, I don't know. It's the objectively best song of all time is a ridiculous question, so there is no.
I mean, I do like the song a lot. But there's so many great songs, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wichita Lineman probably.
I know. I think I thought that, but I didn't want to have it there three times.
Yeah, but no, I think this is. I love this song, so I'm not going to argue with it. And again, I don't know. I always like music, like songs that have this kind of combination of where it's like even it's like really pretty or something, and it's about something really heavy, or it's the opposite, like the music's kind of really heavy, but maybe the lyrics are the other way, or I don't know. I like dichotomies like that, and it's hard to pull off. So
yeah. I mean, obviously, you probably are in the same thing as having kids. You listen to a lot of pop music.
Yeah. Yes. And I have learned, have learned to appreciate it more in this like part of my life more than I think I ever have. Partially, I think it's like survival because I have to.
Right. Yeah.
But also, I think it's made me real. It's like you realize with a lot of it, it's like there's like a lot of talent going into the songwriting and like the craft of it. And
sure, yeah.
When I was younger, I probably just wrote it off. It's like, this popular, whatever. It's like,
yeah. It changes.
Okay, well, what's a song you used to love but now, like, you heard it recently, if you think about it now, doesn't quite hit you the same.
I had a hard time with that. I mean, I guess the one that I picked was "You're Playing Yourself" by J. Rue the Damager. I don't know if you know that tune.
I think I'd heard it before, and then listening to it again, or listening to it prepping for this, it was familiar, but I don't remember where I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard it. It was kind of a big record. I remember I first heard it on Soul Train. Like when like I used to watch that on Saturday mornings, it came on. And I was like, wow, this tune, produced by DJ Premier.
Right.
With J. Rue. But then I mean, it's a lot of that, some of that music, man, it's hard for me to take just because a lot of it's kind of misogynistic and homophobic, and I have a harder time letting stuff like that slide than I did, I don't know, whatever, 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have I don't know. That's mostly
makes a lot of sense.
Was my angle.
Yeah,
even though I think the beat is great.
Yeah, I mean the production is great. It's just maybe it's out there, but I want to hear the instrumental.
Yeah. I end up with a lot of that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what is a song? This one always kind of trips people up. A song that people don't like, people hate it. Somebody hates it. I don't know. But you don't care. You love it.
Oh yeah, Hotline Bling.
I love this song too, man.
I do too. Actually, I remember the first time I heard it, man. I was teaching. They used to have this workshop in Canada called the Banff Workshop. It was the Banff Workshop for International Workshop for Jazz and Creative Music.
Okay.
And I was on the faculty there, and the students had like a dance party or something, and I was there, and they were DJing. Like I DJ'd some, and I played, whatever my '90s hip hop stuff that I like, and then somebody played Hotline Bling, and I was like, "What the hell is this song?" I was like, "This song is awesome."
Yeah,
and it had the what's his name, Timmy Thomas sample and stuff.
Yeah. I don't even remember. I couldn't remember the last time I listened to this, and so when I put it on yesterday, and I was kind of getting ready for this, I was like, God, I still really love that. And I mean, there's lots that could be said about Drake, but whatever. But he has a handful of songs like this that I still really like.
Yeah.
It reminded me, like, when my daughter, I think it must have been kindergarten. I was trying to match up these, but it was when "In My Feelings," I think is the song, the Kiki "Do You Love Me" song. And anyway, my daughter came home one day singing, "Kiki, do you love me? I'm a zombie." It's like, that's what she does. And I'm like, God, I wish there was a version of that song that was like for Halloween or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
This just took me back to that. But yeah, I think this is like perfect pick, because I do know a lot of people who would probably roll their eyes if I put this on or something.
I know, yeah.
It's like, no. Well, what is, on a different tip here, what's the most romantic song?
My pick was "The Makings of You" by Curtis. Well, I like the Gladys Knight version. I mean, I love Curtis's versions too.
Yeah.
But just those lyrics, it's just very sweet. Or wait, is that what I picked? Yeah, that is. because yeah, I think, let me check. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It makes sense to
Jamaican.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, Gladys is. I love her performance on this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's always, yeah, I don't know, so, like a song like, because yeah, like this is just a great song, but it's really interesting, just songs like this where like her performance versus his, they're both great, but how it feels like it sort of even changes the sort of timbre of the song or something.
Yeah. Yeah. She and I like it because I mean, Gladys Knight can be a very extroverted, and on this, she's a much
Mhm.
more it's a much more introverted performance
Yeah,
for her.
yeah, yeah. That's a really good point, man. Um, well, what is a song that changed your perspective on an artist, either for better or for worse?
What is it? Oh, Through the Wire by Kanye.
So is this for better or for worse?
Oh, for better.
Okay.
At the time,
Yeah.
at the time, I mean that I think, I mean I love that's a song that I love it. At the time, uh I mean I'm not gonna speak on him now,
Sure.
but when that song dropped, I mean I don't it was just really like smart.
Yeah.
Like it would just he gets in this car accident, and then his jaw's wired shut, and he makes that tune of rhyming. He's rhyming about it, and it's great wordplay. Like took the Shaka Khan, changed the lyrics,
Hmm.
and changed the title. I was just like, man, this dude is like clever, you
Yeah.
know, and yeah, yeah, that was
Yeah.
that that was pretty much my reasoning behind that.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to get into Kanye West in 2024, like, but he's made a lot of, music that I really hold in high regard.
Sure, yeah.
um, and it's, yeah, like, and this, I mean, because I think this was, because I don't think I'd heard like the mixtapes or anything. This was like the first single of the first album. I think this was like the first thing of his I ever heard. Is what I'm trying to get. Which I remember just thinking like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Like, where did this come from?
Yeah. It's a hard beat too. Very great,
Yeah,
great,
yeah, and
great track.
yeah, and like I said, I love the Shaka Khan, like the reference in the sample.
Hmm.
Which I think I read she didn't like she really hated how he pitch shifted the sample, which I think is kind of funny, but
Yeah.
but it works. I don't know. It
Hmm.
works in the context of the song. And he was always really good at like the stuff like his sampling, like the stuff he picked and how he used it. I always thought he was always really clever with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what about lyrics? Are lyrics like a big thing you pay attention to? Are you?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Can like bad lyrics ruin a song for you?
Oh, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, okay. So, what are your favorite lyrics, or some of your favorite lyrics? Whether it's a song or a whole lot, like a whole song or a line, or however you want to do it.
Let's see. What did I put? Oh yeah, I put MF Doom. The line and rhymes like dimes. Only in
Yeah,
America can you earn a healthy buck and still keep your attitude on self-destruct.
man, that's so good.
And then what else I picked? The Nas opening line and "The World Is Yours." I sip the Dom P, watching Gandhi till I'm charged, writing in my book of rhymes, all the words past the margin. I think that's a great,
That's a
great
great line.
lyric.
Yeah.
Um, and the whole song of Deacon Blues by Steely Dan is some of my
Oh,
favorite lyrics.
nice. That's okay. That's really interesting. Where Steely Dan's like a band, like a very polarizing band. At least people, I either know people who
Yeah.
absolutely love them or people who hate them. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things on paper. I keep thinking it's like this should be something I'm really into, but it's only kind of clicked.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Like, so do you love Steely Dan like in general? Like, are you?
Yes.
Uh,
pre 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 comeback Steely Dan.
okay,
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, when I was that they were kind of my gateway drug. They were probably
nice.
what Tortoises to you is
Yeah,
probably they probably were to me when I don't know, I was probably like 13, 14 and just starting to get serious about music
yeah,
and like there man I mean the level of musicianship on their records is undeniable, man.
absolutely.
I
Yes.
mean, and the craft, I mean, some of their stuff is formulaic. I mean, they were staff songwriters for ABC. And so they always got the big chorus and like, but man, I mean, they write some really smart music, and the architecture of a lot of their music is really sublime. Deacon Blues being one, man. I mean, the harmony and the lyrics, you know, that first what's the first line? This is the night of the expanding man. That shape is my shade there where I used to stand. It
That's
seems like only yesterday I gazed through the glass at ramblers, wild gamblers, that's all in the past. I mean, it's
that's
like,
good.
man,
Yeah, that's good.
I mean,
That's
they
yeah,
can write, man. I mean,
yeah.
that's for real. I'm not, I mean, I get why when people don't like them, but I
Like,
love them.
yeah. Well, I mean, like again, I feel like it's something, and it's people like what they like, but yeah, I feel like it's something I just need to like. Maybe I just haven't been in the right space when I heard it or something. It's one of those bands like I'm never going to give up on trying to like get into, because I think we've all had music like that where for some amount of time, it's like it never did anything for you. Then there's like some moment you hear it at the right time and it just clicks and it becomes something that you really love.
Yeah.
Um,
Neil Young was like that for me, man. I had a lot of
oh man,
friends who were like, Neil, 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 Neil. I was
yeah,
like, man, I don't get it. And then one day, I think it was kind of around when I moved to California, and Leanne, my partner, was really into Neil,
uh huh.
and I started checking it out, and I was like, man, he's another one who write. He
Yeah,
can write great lyrics,
yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's yeah. I always it's that's why I always like. I don't know. I never give up on. I mean, maybe there's some stuff I know I'll never like, but who knows? I don't know. I
Right?
don't. I mean, 20 years ago, I never thought I'd probably like a lot of the pop music that I like now. So here we
Sure.
are.
Yep.
Okay, well, we already talked about the cover that's better than the original,
Hmm.
which is the Meters version of Wichita Lineman. But what is the sexiest song?
The sexiest song is, without a doubt, "Sensuality" by the Isley Brothers.
Dang.
Yeah, that's a baby maker there.
yeah, whole generation of children have been
Yeah,
conceived.
and it's just such. I mean, even in to get away from that. I mean, it's just such a
yeah.
like the tones, and it's
Mhm.
so warm and that great like Moog synthesizer
Oh man.
thing.
Yeah, it's yeah. that's the thing about this song. It's just the atmosphere. Like warm is a really good. It's like warm and sort of has like this light touch or something that just feel it feels like it's not to use a Tortoise album, but it does. It feels like it's all around you. Like when you listen to it, I feel like you like it because it has that. I don't know, and I don't even know what it is about it, but the production of it is so. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, I love the synth. Like I'm a sucker for. I'm a sucker for synths used in way like this way. Like I don't know, they just.
Yes.
Great song. Okay. Well, what is the song that means the most to you? Not necessarily because of the song itself, but like you associate it with something or someone, and it's got. Yeah.
I think I already started to touch on it. Out on the Weekend by Neil Young.
So was this like the first Neil Young song that you really started, or is like what is it about this one? Based on the conversation we already had about like your partner loves Neil Young and starting to
I mean, it was kind of like, I mean, I really like. I was talking to Michelle Indigale-Cello about this one, where she was like, Michelle used to be out in LA all the time because she was scoring that television show Queen Sugar, and their production was based out here. And I mean, and basically we just started talking about when we were both out in LA, we just kind of started to listen to Neil Young. And that was that I really got into Harvest and those songs. I mean, when I was kind of like leaving Chicago and kind of like starting this new chapter of my life, with a new partner and coming out here to kind of make a new life. And that, that song where he talks about, think I'll pack it in, buy a pickup, take it down to LA. And I'd listen to that and just be like, man, it was synonymous with me going through some big transition,
Yeah, man. Yeah, you were like living the song.
Yeah.
It's a great song. Yeah, it feels weird to call anything on Harvest kind of underappreciated, but I do feel like this song is kind of underappreciated. Like I don't feel like I hear a lot of people talking about this song specifically on Harvest, but it's like one of my favorite songs on the record. So
yeah, totally.
It's a great song. Well, last question. At least in this moment in time, or maybe this is always it, but what is your favorite song?
Oh man, yeah, I put it Deacon Blues, man.
Yeah.
Deacon Blues by Steely Dan. That's my. I mean, I regularly, probably, I don't know, a few times a year, I'll just listen to that song like 10 times in a row when I'm driving around. Like I just listened to it yesterday. Yeah,
wow.
I mean that's kind of I think it's a perfect it's a perfect song to me.
So for somebody like me who is like on the fence about Steely Dan and not like, I mean, just like I said, hasn't quite clicked. Is this the place to start? What would you think? What is a good start? What's the place to start to like really, do you think, to like ease yourself in, or I don't know, or see if it's, I don't know if that makes sense, but
I would say the album Asia, that's the strong, I mean, Black Cow. I mean, that's what starts the album. That's another great one, if you ask me.
Okay.
Even if you love MF Doom, the way that he sampled Black Cow,
Oh
is
yeah.
is one of the best great hip hop moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'd say
Okay.
Asia, the whole album,
Okay.
or at least certain songs, like Black Cow, Deacon Blues, the tune Asia, where Wayne Shorter takes his great saxophone solo on it, and I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, either you dig it or you don't. I
No,
mean,
for
I
sure.
I have I have a lot of nostalgia behind my Steely Dan.
Yeah.
Can you can just imagine me being in junior high and kind of just like listening to that
Right. Right.
13-year-old Jeff
Just go.
when
You
all
know,
my friends are like listening to Kiss and shit, and I'm like, I'd rather listen to this.
I could. Hey, that's. I mean, I had those experience not with Steely Dan and Kiss, but similar experience where all my friends were listening. Like, oh, I'm like, no, listen. I mean, hell, when I was probably 17 or something, they were all listening to like some punk thing. I'm like, dude, you should hear this band Tortoise. Like, what the fuck is this? And it's funny. Steely Dan. One of the other times that Steely Dan came up on this is when Anna was on the show, because I don't think Anna is a big Steely Dan fan either, and we were both talking about. I think we talked about Dirty Work, and we both agreed like that song is a banger. But
oh wow,
yeah, I think we were both like, yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna listen to Asia this week. Like I'm gonna make an effort again to. It's been a minute, so I like to.
Oh, okay.
I like to like test myself out every so often to see like maybe this is the time in my life where this thing's gonna click. But if not, who knows? No big deal.
Yeah, no.
Well, hey man, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Brad, thank you.
So The Way Out of Easy is out now. You got shows coming up. I'll put links to all that stuff for people to check out. Is there anything else you want to like mention or plug before we get out of here?
No. I think we covered a lot of ground.
All right. Awesome. And new Tortoise next year, hopefully. Awesome.
Yeah.
Once again, 1,000 million billion trillion thanks to Jeff Parker, who is extremely busy and took time out to just embrace this and do it. And it was a lot of fun. And man, some killer picks on there too. Like there's a couple of these songs that I hadn't thought about or listened to in a while who've I've kind of made their way onto my favorites everyday playlist that I listen to and when I'm doing stuff. But yeah, The Way Out of Easy, it's out now on International Anthem. It is, like I said, it's killer. And hey, if you're a big fan of the band, you should go listen to the Anna Butterss episode that it did a few months ago, because they were amazing guests too. And yeah, and they had a killer solo record out just a few months ago on International Anthem as well. I mean, it is just a treasure trove. Again, 2 years running, International Anthem. Holy shit. All right, that's it. As always, thanks for listening. If you enjoy the show, please like and review, or rate and review, like and review. I don't know, whatever the hell you do on, wherever you listen to it. Really helps. I think you can subscribe to. I don't know. You would think I know how much that works, but I don't really. I kind of do, I guess. But the ratings and the reviews, man, that stuff really helps. Yeah, and if you really, really like it, you should check out the Patreon. Patreon.com/Foxy Digitalis. For as little as $3 a month, you can get the full unabridged episodes, because there's a whole section that doesn't make it into this main feed, and you get them a week early, and you get some other stuff too. So, and that ongoing support really helps keep things going. And thank you so much to everyone who's signed up. That's not for you though. Use that money, pick up The Way Out of Easy. Till next time though, listen to The Way Out of Easy, but also listen to whatever the hell you want.